शाराद्रिसङ्काशगौरं कबीरं मनोभूतकोटि प्रभाश्रीशरीरं स्फुरन्मौलिकल्लोलिनी चारुगङ्गा लसत्फालबालेन्दुकण्ठे भुजङ्गा.
A warm welcome to all the devotees on Raksha Sutra English. We are going to narrate wonderful holy stories to all the devotees from the book Miracles of Love by Ramdass ji, an exclusive devotee of Maharaj ji. Please listen carefully, all the devotees. At the same time in Geneva, Dr. Henderson was attending a cocktail party at the American Embassy. The American ambassador and the Surgeon General were there. The Surgeon General asked Henderson how the smallpox eradication program was going. Great, said Henderson. We have 34 countries cleared and only 4 are left. Are all the countries helping you? Asked the Surgeon General. Yes, Russia's given us vaccine, Sweden's given us a lot of money. All the countries are helping. The Surgeon General asked, what about America? What are we giving you? Well, said Henderson, an expert in getting support for his program, not so much. What do you need? Henderson replied, I don't know how I got into this, and I don't know why we are doing it, but we want to hire this young American doctor who has been living in an ashram in India. We have never done anything like that before, and the kid can't get a security clearance. The Surgeon General of the United States said, security clearance? What does he need that for? Henderson replied, every American in order to work for the United Nations has to leave a security clearance. The Surgeon General said, I didn't know that. Who gives him the clearance? Henderson said, you do. I do? Give me a napkin and tell me what the kid's name is. He took a cocktail napkin and wrote, brilliant, okay to start work. He gave the napkin to Henderson, who telegraphed WHO in New Delhi that I would be cleared to work. The next morning, Maharaj ji called us into his office. He was being too nice, laughing and smiling. He had tea and jalebis brought in and he hugged us. We were rubbing his feet. It was so blissful. Then suddenly Maharaj ji said, okay, time for you to go. We thought he meant to leave the ashram. We stood up and pranamed and then walked out and around the corner, and just as we approached the gate to the ashram, the postman came with a telegram from New Delhi. We have been notified today that you have received a US security clearance. Come immediately to WHO, New Delhi to begin work. So I went to WHO and began work as an administrative assistant. During the week, I worked in New Delhi, and on the weekends, we came to the ashram to be with Maharaj ji. I remember one darshan in the back at Kainchi, where we talked for 3 hours about smallpox. It was the most horrid disease I had ever seen. He told me everything about it, where it was located in India, where the bad epidemics were, what the seasons were, what the transmission cycle was, what places we would have trouble with, everything about the epidemiology. He knew much more than I knew. Even after I would worked with WHO for about 3 months, I asked him, "Will smallpox be eradicated?" I remember his answer because I wrote it down. Smallpox will be eradicated. This is God's gift to mankind because of the hard work of dedicated medical scientists. At the WHO office, I was occasionally assigned to write up the operational plans. Since my native language was English, Maharaji would help to organize the whole plan because my source of information about conditions in India was, well, so direct, shall we say, and because Maharaji's advice was so good, I began to get more and more responsibility. Still, after about a month of this, I was not feeling that Maharaji's prediction had come true because I still wasn't going to the villages to give vaccinations. There was as yet no such program. The project slowly moved to the point where we were about to go into the field. September was to be the first month. Some of the staff would go into the field, but not me, of course, since I was just an administrative assistant. I was to stay in New Delhi and mind the shop. However, it so happened that 2 of the Russian doctors who were to be assigned to an area where Maharaji had lived for a long period were held by Soviet government formalities. There was this blank spot on the map, and there was just nobody except me who could be sent there. I was sent out of the office and into the villages. The jeep that Girija and I drove had a big picture of Maharaji on the dashboard. Often, when we went into a civil surgeon's office and told him about the importance of a serious smallpox program, he would say, "Yes, yes, thank you for coming. Now please leave. I have got so many other problems." Then, because of Indian courtesy, he might walk us out to our jeep and he would see Maharaji's picture on the dashboard and ask us why we had it there. "Oh," I would say, "he's my guru. He told me to go work for the United Nations. He told me smallpox would be eradicated. He told me this is God's gift to mankind through the hard work of dedicated medical scientists." And then the civil surgeon might say, "Oh, please come back into my office. Take tea. Since smallpox is going to be eradicated, how shall we get organized?" It kept happening like that every time, simply because Maharaji had said smallpox would be eradicated and because all the Indian officials had heard that anything he said came true. They took our work seriously and put other things aside to help us. Often, skeptical WHO or Indian officials said to me, "Look, you understand India. You may eradicate smallpox everywhere else, but you know India will never eradicate smallpox. It's just not possible." But when they heard what Maharaj Ji had said, the Indian officials would often completely change their opinions. Soon, we were assigned to areas that were selected because of the negative attitudes of the local doctors. We talked about Maharaj Ji's prediction. Some of the officials remembered when the Chinese invaded India in 1962 and Maharaj Ji had said the Chinese troops would go back to China by themselves, and so these doctors would change their attitudes and motivate their people to do tremendous work, and soon smallpox would be beaten in their area. The effect of this was that although I knew very little about smallpox or the UN system, every time I was sent to a difficult area, through Maharaj Ji's grace, smallpox would disappear. WHO kept sending me to strange and remote places. I thought perhaps it was just in Uttar Pradesh that I had such luck, but in Journey 1974 they sent me to a remote part of Madhya Pradesh, to a place that just happened to be part of the Sahdol district, Amarkantak, Maharaj Ji's old sadhu stomping grounds, which at that time was experiencing the worst epidemic in India. Nearly everyone in the district had known Maharaj Ji, and when they learned that he had said smallpox would be eradicated, they cooperated, and despite their earlier skepticism, mounted a tremendous campaign in the remote hills. The epidemic was over. People within WHO began to ask me about Maharaj Ji. Nicole, my boss, really opened up to Maharaj Ji in a beautiful way. First of all, she did think Maharaj Ji had somehow influenced her to hire me. Second, since she always asked everyone's advice before making difficult decisions, she got in the habit of asking us when we would go to see Maharaj Ji over the weekends what he would advise about specific problems in the eradication program. He would send his advice back through us. His answers were full of wisdom on every level, practical as well as spiritual. Many smallpox workers began to respect him. Members of the smallpox staff had a quality about them that was different from any other group I met in the UN program. They were very inspired. We talked freely about Maharaj Ji as they were all devout individuals. It took only 2 years of intense effort to conquer smallpox in all of India. When we started in 1974, there were 1,80,000 cases with 30,000 deaths in only 1 year. A total of 400 epidemiologists from 30 different countries and 100,000 Indian workers worked in a frenzy of compassion and commitment. Everyone in India had said it could never be done, even many WHO officials, but Maharaj Ji said it could be done. He said it was God's gift to mankind, and it was. To listen the wonderful holy stories of Maharaj Ji, please like, share, subscribe the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell icon. Write in the comment box Jai Neeb Karoli Baba Ji Maharaj and Jai Ramdass Ji. Thank you.